a minute. Well, Mehmuna, thank you so much for joining me. You are the first person that I've interviewed for this new series, The
Yay.
Gap
Yay.
Through COVID-19.
Okay, thank you. I'm so grateful, honored. Thank you.
Yes, yes. So would you please introduce yourself? I know that you are known by several names, and well, but because it's really important, because as we evolve, as we learn and we grow, other names we may be called by other names that signify what it is we're doing in this time right now.
Very true. Very true.
So if you can you share with us, tell us who you are and what kind of work you do.
Okay, I am Mistress Mehmuna Lemuria Melchizedek. And yes, I have evolved into many names. And I'm feeling Mehmuna will slowly ease away and it will just be Mistress Mehmuna Lemuria Melchizedek. But I'm just doing that slowly. I'm integrating the energy of Lemuria on my own first, and then I'll be able to present that energy to the community. What I do is energy work. I do Reiki. I do acupressure. I do chakra and aura balancing and clearing and massage. I'm an astrologist, which is an ongoing, you're always in training with astrology. It's so endless. But I've been doing astrology for about 15 years now. And my teacher, who is Mama Kima, wonderful spirit, she says she's been doing it about 40 years and she's still learning. So that'll tell you I'm still a baby, but I'm in there. I also certify people in Reiki, and I teach astrology classes. Amongst those things, I'm also a professor of English at Wayne County Community College, and I've been there about 10 years. Before I joined that team, I taught high school English for about 5 years at about Aisha Chule, WEB Du Bois Academy. And I also am a yoga instructor. So that's just some of the things I do along with being a mother. And
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Now you mentioned that you're I don't know, I'm trying to, sorry, I'm still working at this. You mentioned that you're a mother. I'm really interested in how this situation, this time that we're in, has affected how you're mothering. How
Mm.
you're,
Yeah, so one of the main things that I try to stay focused on is my thought. Because as a mother, especially of grown children, only one is here with me, and she's 16. And my other children are kind of scattered. One is way in Ohio, um, one is not too far, and then the other is in Allen Park. But I try to keep my thoughts pure and clear and say my children are safe. But as a human, you still have those feelings, right? And any little sniffle, or I mean, this is unreal, but any little thing, my son called and, my chest is kind of congested. He has asthma, so you don't want to panic. Just an asthma attack. So just I'm just there to give them remedies and calmly and with clear focused intent and not to get caught up in fear. So that's the only thing that I can do, really, honestly, in this energy that we're in right now and in life, even before the COVID. Once your children grow up, there's not too much you can do but be there for them. So I kind of adjusted that thinking a long time ago that all I can do is keep my thoughts pure and intentional in an energy of positivity as I can.
mhm, mhm.
Yeah.
So how did you come up with the clear thoughts? Because I think a lot of parents feel like if they, by worrying, that shows concern. So how did you come to the awareness that that was the way you needed to approach your children in times of crisis?
I came to that just in my own spirituality. I really believe that our thoughts manifest in our words. So I really just, it's a minute to minute almost sometimes conscious effort to do it, and when those scary thoughts come up, you have to literally say, no, that's not my reality. My baby is fine. It's something that you just have to work at, honestly.
So I know you do readings for people. Have
Oh,
you
yeah.
have,
Yeah.
have any of your clients talked about, fear and the children and the COVID-19? What have you been hearing from your clients?
Most of my clients, yes. A few of them call when they're feeling anxiety. Quite a few of them, because many of them are empathic, like I am. So they're feeling the energy of not only their own stress or their own children, but of the community and possibly even the world. Um, so I give them breathing techniques. I give them tools that they can use to help them stay focused, to bring their energy back in, and to shield up. Different things that they can do, certain baths, certain stones, breathing techniques, as I started to say, um, focused meditations, guided meditations, things like that. So, and the other half of them, I'm going to say less than half of them are kind of in the energy I just spoke of. Many of them are just planning for the future, honestly, to be honest. They're kind of in a space that I'm in where they're not kind of trying to focus on what's happening, but what's coming and how can they prepare right now for what they see for themselves in the future, which is positive things, and how the world is shifting, and they're trying to look at the things positively, like I am. This is bringing communities together, even though we can't literally be together, but our thoughts are more on our neighbors now. People are more focused inward, looking at themselves and how they've contributed possibly to the energies that are on the planet right now, or not, and how they can now be a part of that higher consciousness, and help elevate the planet instead of contributing to the hysteria. So things like that. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting with my clients.
Okay. So what do you think is actually happening right now? What would you say is happening right now? So okay, so we're right now, we are, there is a virus, a coronavirus, and they've named it COVID-19. And it started in China and it's moved through Europe. And now here we are, and now it's here in Michigan, where we are in Detroit. And Wayne County has some of the highest rates of the COVID-19 virus, as as more than other counties in Michigan.
Mm.
And so we are have been asked to stay at home. And so now that we're staying at home, now we're actually staying at home. So now we're staying at home. So now people are, I think, trying to discern what should they do now. Like you said, some of your clients are thinking about the future. And what do you spiritually, intuitively, what do you think is happening in the world right now?
I think souls are leaving to maybe do work on the other side, or maybe we're ready to elevate to another space so that they can come back and do work in another way than what they were doing here. This is my own personal thoughts. I think that people are being forced, like I said before, to look at their own part in the world, to look at themselves and gain a deeper appreciation with themselves and their relationship to our Creator. Um, I think people are being forced to spend more time with their families. I think people are being forced to look at different ways to heal themselves, because everybody's not wanting to go to the hospital, even if they're, everybody's afraid to go into the hospital now. So if you're having some kind of your blood pressure is raising, your sugar, or you're having headaches or whatever that you normally go to the hospital for, you're figuring it out at home. So people are learning that there are other modes that we can use in order to heal ourselves.
And does that play into, I know you talked about, we had a conversation a while ago and I asked people if they had a superpower, what would it be? And you said your superpower would be, I think you said restoration or
Regenerate.
regenerating body. Yes. Tell me about that. Does that play into what you're seeing from people? And are you in a process of regeneration right now?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So when you ask that, the first thing I'm thinking is I could fly, or I want to teleport, but then that regeneration just came up for me. And what I meant by that is, so say something is not working for you. Like a lot of us, we're having these eye issues. I know I'm one. We're on the computer a lot, right? So we close our eyes and we just regenerate our eyes with our thought. And now we can see clearly, or whatever it is that's happening in our bodies, we're able to focus energy in on that and regenerate it. And so that's kind of what I meant when I said that. And so I think the second part of the question was something like, well, how would that look in the case of a virus happening? And I would say anything that attacks the body, it just helped the regeneration even more. So it gives it power, whatever it is that's not that's foreign to that body part organ. It gives it more power, if that makes sense. So yeah, I'm definitely in the process of regenerating. For me, I do a lot of work on myself daily and my clients, but I didn't realize how much more I could be doing because I was out so much. So this is forcing me to really do work on myself, hourly, focused, conscious work on myself. So I'm regenerating parts of myself that, with the acupressure, I get these certain points and it's really tender and I know what it's connected to. And then I say, so that's why my eyes are this, or that's why I've been having lower back pain. So it's really focusing me to regenerate, yes, myself in this process. Yeah.
Okay. What would you, if you had to give a, if someone called you and they said, I don't know what's going on in this world, people are dying and I don't know what's happening, and I don't, and I know you talked about it a little bit, but if someone were to call you and they were really upset because maybe somebody was passing away or maybe somebody was sick, what would you tell them? What would you tell them from the wisest part of yourself?
The hardest thing ever, and that is when the soul is ready to go, the soul leaves. And there's nothing, it's not about us understanding it, it's about that person's soul and its connection to Creator. And I did kind of have to go through this recently, and a dear friend of mine, whose father passed, and she called me before he passed, because he was up and down, up and down. She was like, he's a fighter, and they're finally going to let me go and see him. I need a ritual, so people call me for rituals. First thing came to my mind is you have to ask his soul, does he want to stay or go? You want him to stay. You know what I mean? So when she did that, I think she heard his answer. So she kind of more prepared him to leave than to stay. So I gave her both rituals to help him stay, to help him leave. And so a couple of days later, he did transition. So, and I also would say that nothing ever leaves. It just transitions, so that energy will always be here. And I don't know, some people may not believe in reincarnation, so it depends on who I'm talking to. And I can say, well, they'll be back, and then you can have a relationship with them in the other world. So it depends on who I'm talking to, how I would approach the situation. So, yeah, that's hard because when you have to think about something maybe happening to your own people, and you have to take that in for yourself that you're telling somebody else. You know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah, it's touchy, it's sensitive, but I just do what spirit guides me to do in that moment, per se. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Right. Okay. Okay. Well, is there anything in particular that you would like to share about yourself, about the situation, about any kind of wisdoms, any kind of reflections, revelations that you may have had during this time during the last month?
Yeah, mostly like what I just said. You know, you think you're doing things for yourself, but you really have to take time for self-care
Right.
and really find time to make that connection to source, whatever you call that, to really understand that we are infinite beings. So one of the main things that I've gotten out of this is that we cannot fear death. And once we get to that space, then everything that happens around us is just, it's not as intense. We won't have all this anxiety. We won't have all these diseases, blood pressure and sugar and this, because it's all coming from a place of fear. And I think the fear is of death. Most of that energy is the fear of death. I don't want to have this. I don't want to have that. And so we're adding to the stress of, does that make sense?
That makes sense.
So
Yeah.
that's one of the things that I really have been looking at for myself is getting to a space where I just do not fear death. I'm not there, It's a little lighter, but yeah, I think if we all, as spirits having a human experience, can get to that space, maybe we could breathe a little bit more easily.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been around death quite a bit, and I don't know. I can't say that I think that I don't think I fear it, but I guess in actuality, I found myself in a bad relationship, and I think what I did fear that that I would be overtaken, like that I wouldn't survive that situation. So I guess that is a fear of death. So feeling like someone else has a power stronger than yours that can take your life, which is not true
Yeah.
because none of us will leave before it's our time. Like you
Thank
said before, we all
you.
come here with my aunt says, my aunt from Mississippi says, your days is numbered before you was born.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
So we're all gonna leave here at some point, and some people have had really catastrophic illnesses or accidents, and they recovered from them.
Yeah.
Even when someone said that they were gonna die. So there's always we never will leave before it's our time, and the transition for me is very much like being born. Just like we have all these spirits that were born as babies during the baby boom, and then we have a whole collection of spirits that are leaving together. Maybe they're a part of the same soul family.
I say, leave that
They
to.
did, yes, and they did what they came here to do. They
Yeah.
did their job,
Yes.
and now it's time to go. And I know it's difficult. I've buried a mother and a father and a
Yes.
brother,
Yes.
so I know it's difficult. Still, it's, I think what happens is when souls leave, they leave us with a sense of comfort. There's a sense of comfort that and a sense of mystery that happens, and it's not just me who's experienced it. My aunt, when her husband passed away, they talked about she and my cousin talked about how it was to be present when my uncle passed away. And just the awe at being present during that time is very similar to the awe at when babies are born.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Time to
Mm-hmm.
live, time to die, and it's hard to believe, especially when we're afraid of
Yes.
dying. We're
Yes.
afraid of what we're going to do when someone we love passes on. I
Yes.
know I've experienced that,
Yes.
but in the end, we're all here for a finite time.
Yes.
And we will all leave here. And it's just a matter of doing what you can while you're here, doing what you're going
Yeah.
to do, hopefully.
Yes. And it's about too that same thought process, like I said before, thinking, trying to focus in on something positive with your thoughts. Wow, what a wondrous thing is going to happen. What wonderful things are going to happen when I leave this place. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know. So yeah, that death thing. I remember when our sister Sumara passed,
Yes.
and her sister kept telling her, well, she went once to her, I believe, and she just said, "It's okay. We were all there. It's okay. You can go. I'll never forget." And she just coughed and went. So it was like she was just waiting for everybody to say it's okay, or somebody. You know, that was amazing to me. That was the first time I had experienced that. So yeah, you're right. We know when it's time to go, and there is a beauty in it. Yeah.
What are some of the things that you're looking forward to for when we come out of this staycation?
I am so looking forward to building a new home near the water and being able to allow people to come over and heal in a sacred space and energy that is magical and mystical. Where that is, I do not know yet. I'm looking forward to doing more studying so that I can teach more and heal more and grow more. um, so those are some of the things that I'm really looking forward to. Yeah, it's major. And some of the classes that I'm about to start certifying more people in Reiki, and I just want everybody to get there so that we all can be able to do all of these healing modalities and just heal each other. Yeah. So that's what I'm looking forward to. Yeah, I'm sure there's more. I'm gonna stop there.
Okay, good. Well, did you want to talk about anything, any events you have coming up?
Well, I do. I just started today. I posted it today. I don't know when this is going to air, but today is the 26th of May, and of April. Oh, I done jumped to May already. Yeah. I will be starting an online class on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. It'll be an hour and a half, and we're going to do some deep meditations. We're going to do some deep breathing and some yin yoga. So everything is going to be inward. It's not going to be the kind of yoga that's way out here and your major stretching. Everything is going to be inward. And even some body sculpting where we will focus in on parts of the body and make them tone and strengthen. And then on Sundays, I'll be doing just a straight meditation. It's only going to be 30 minutes, and we'll be working on balancing the chakras, and you'll be immersed in sound during that time. So that's coming up. And then I have Reiki course coming up. Of course, I keep pushing the dates because of everything that's happening. So that'll be in June. And then I'll have astrology classes coming up. And it's important to learn astrology. It's so important. It's science. And there's a lot happening astrologically that explains what's happening here. So everything is in divine alignment.
What kind of things are happening astrologically that explain?
You really want to talk to Mama Kima.
Mama Kima.
Yeah, I can say though that, and for lay people, it's not really going to make a lot of sense. You can definitely look online and Google some people, or go on YouTube and say astrological happenings during COVID or stuff like that, and you'll get a lot of information. But it'd be a lot for me to go into. I do know that, like I told you, Gemini and Sagittarius will be the south and north nodes right now, and that has a lot to do with technology, doing things online more so, and working locally instead of trying to go far out to do work with people. Working in your communities a lot, so the gardens and taking care of your neighbor and that kind of thing is going to be very prevalent over the next few years, actually. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Mistress Mehmuna. I really appreciate you. And so I'll let you. I'll share with you once I share this with others. You'll know. And then you
Okay.
can okay.
Thank you. I love you.
Love you too.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.